Barakatah Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Racha Kodash. Welcome to another live lesson. The name of this one is, Who are the E's, the cursed people, the blessing. So in this segment, we're going to cover the blessing, Lord's will. Lord's will, it'll be an edifying lesson. This ongoing, series on these, Edomites, and who they are. And the proof that they are who they are, you have so many people coming out trying to say that they're not. Been going back and forth with a couple of clowns on the comment board about this topic, and they're trying to, push the narrative, which this is nothing new. This goes way back. People have been saying the same thing, that Esau can't be the so-called white people because his wife was a Canaanite woman and a Arab woman, and that would have changed the makeup of what they look like. And that's not always the case, because the Most High is in control, and he can keep that skin color on them, because that is their mark in this time, from the time when they were created. Because when you go back to the beginning, with Cain, who was you could say the progenitor of the wicked on the earth, they had a mark, or he had a mark put upon him. All right. And that mark was a curse of leprosy. And this is why the so-called Mormons use that same narrative of Genesis, the 4th chapter, to try and push that on the so-called North American Indians as being cursed because of, their disobedience to the Most High. They were cursed with a skin of blackness upon them. That shows you, the straight up racism from Esau. Then you have so-called Negroes and other tribes, excuse me, that are in Mormonism. But anyway, be it as it may, I looked at the word bless, and it's Old English bletzian, to consecrate by a religious rite, make holy, give thanks. From Proto-Germanic bloodison, hollow with blood, mark with blood. From blotham, blood originally a blood sprinkling on pagan altars. This word was chosen in Old English Bibles to translate Latin benedicere and Greek eulogium, which is good word. Both of these are good word. Bene is good, dicere is saying or speech, dictation, where you get the word dictionary or diction, which is word, good word. And Greek eulogium, you is good, and logium, where you get the word logos, which is word. Both of which have a good ground sense of to speak well of, to praise. But we're used in the scriptures to translate Hebrew barak, to bend the knee, worship, praise, invoke blessings. This is why you've heard Elder Pastor say that to truly be blessed, you have to have servants and slaves, because that is the ultimate blessing. You have to have land, you have to have sustenance, you have to have precious stones, precious metals, and you have to have slaves to cultivate and to keep track of all of, the cattle and the land and things of that nature. That's truly blessed. So to truly be blessed, you have to have slaves. All right. Now, dealing with Esau's blessing, which was an actual gift from Isaac, his father, which is Yahushai, in the reincarnation, if you could receive it. That blessing was what? A sword, which we're going to get into. And that sword has evolved from the time of the beginning, which is pretty much a sword is an instrument of war. And it has evolved from the beginning, as you can see here, in the ancient times, you had the sword, sticks, stones. Then coming into the Renaissance period, 1368 all the way up, you start seeing the so-called gun. you Homo sapiens and your guns, right? And here you have a picture, which I didn't even see this one. Let me see if we can make this a little bigger. As you can see, bow and arrow, machine gun, cannon, tank, jet plane, nuclear missiles, mushroom cloud. And this is the ultimate part of his blessing, is the missiles. All right. Now, when we go back, way back into time, to Genesis, the 4th chapter, right? Genesis 4:1. And Adam knew Eve, his wife, and she conceived and bare Cain, and said, I have gotten a man from the Lord. Now, when you go into the Hebrew word Cain, they don't really break it down here. But the word Cain goes back to the Hebrew word Qayan, right? Well, yeah, they got it right here. Qayan, it says possession. It doesn't mean possession. Then here, Kenite, it says smith, smiths. I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire. What is the purpose of a smith blowing the coals in the fire? Well, the purpose of a smith blowing the coals in the fire is to bring forth instruments of war. Right? Isaiah 54:16. Behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire and bringeth forth an instrument for his work. And what is that instrument? It's usually in the form of a shield or a helmet but the most important was what? The swords, the daggers, the spears, so on and so forth. So today, the modern day smiths would be what? The scientists, which are the ones that are creating these missile type weapons that are being used in today's warfare. Because the ancient warfare in the ancient world was different than what it is now. As you notice, from the beginning of time all the way until this point here, which was what, the 1300s, which was the beginning of the Renaissance period, they started to get these guns. Why? Because Esau was coming into power, and because this was the ultimate part of his blessing. So all wars prior to that were fought with sticks, stones, knives, swords, shields, helmet. And that's why here in Isaiah 9:5 it says, for every battle of the warrior is with confused noise. All you have to do is watch movies like Braveheart, movies like 300, movies like Gladiator, where you see a bunch of men on the battlefield going to war with each other and running up on each other with swords, spears, knives, arrows, and you hear a great cry, a tumultuous cry, an outburst, yelling, a straight up confused, state of mind that the people are in. And if you're listening to it, it's like it's nothing but confusion going on. But this is how men did war in the past until they got the gun. It says, and garments rolled in blood. Why? Because you did have instances where men would have blood on their garments because it was either theirs or other men that they have killed in battle. It says, but this, meaning this particular battle that's coming, shall be with burning and with fuel of fire. And why is that? Because of the technology that was given to these devils, these Edomites, through the modern day smiths, which are the scientists. And you could do research on the Manhattan Project, that after World War II, I'm not sure the ratio, I believe it was half of the scientists from Germany after the war went to Russia, and the other half came to America, known as the Manhattan Project. And from that point till now, they have created all of these modern day weapons that we see to fight these modern day wars, because this is what they did. They brought an instrument for their work. It says, and I have created the waster to destroy. And the waster to destroy is speaking about these missiles. And the ultimate analysis, or the ultimate goal, or the end game is that America will be totally annihilated by thermonuclear destruction. The land of Israel will be totally annihilated by thermonuclear destruction. Certain other parts of the world where these missiles hit are going to be hit, but they're not going to be completely wiped out like America and the land of Israel, because these are biblical prophecies. But there will be some places that will get hit, and cause this great devastation. That's why Einstein said, if World War III is fought with nuclear weapons, World War IV will be fought with sticks and stones, which there ain't going to be no such thing as World War IV, because once Yahushua comes back, these nations are going to be in subjection. These weapons that they have to fight wars will be converted into agricultural weapons. So there's not going to be any more wars. That's how we know that the small hats and the wig wearers over there in the land of Israel today are not the people of the Most High. So, going back. So Quayan, these are the Smiths, right? And you have the word here, it goes back to the root word, Quayan, same word, but it's a different entry. Spear, a lance. You foolish boy and your little sticks. It's called a lance. Inside joke. A lance as striking fast. Spear, right? Because Quayan means weapon. But not just a weapon, a stabbing weapon. And this was indicative of what he would do when he killed or slayed his brother Abel, which the word Abel goes back to the Hebrew word habal, which means transitory. Well, this one they kind of broke it down, then Cain, but the name Abel, habal, they don't really break it down. They don't really go into it, because it just really means transitory, here for a moment and gone. It's just like a breath, and that's exactly what it means. Because transitory, you take the transit, whether it's a train or bus or whatever the case may be, and they're there for a moment, they pick up passengers, drop off passengers, and then they move on to the next destination. So they're transitory. So Abel's name means transitory, means he would be here for a moment and then he would be gone, because that was what his name predicted what he would do. A term that Elder Apostle Gabar always brings out, called omen omen, which pretty much means name prediction. Now, when we go down to the descendants of Cain, which, by the way, Cain is the line. Cain and his descendants are the line, or the children of the wicked. There's 3 classifications of men in the Bible. The children of the Most High, which back then were the children of God, later named Israelites. Then you had, which were the descendants of Adam through Seth, because Abel was killed, so Seth came. So those are the children of God. Then you had the children of men, which were the other nations. And then you had the children of the wicked, which was Cain and his descendants. A big flood came, took them out. Then they came back through a man by the name of Esau. So Esau is continuing on in that whole, legacy, for lack of better words, that was set forward by him back in the past as Cain. And we believe through the Spirit that Cain and Abel were Jacob and Esau coming back in the reincarnation. Cain being Esau, Abel being Jacob, if you could receive it. So you had descendants, right? So where did they get these women from if there was only one man created in the beginning and his wife? Now, when we go through some of the descendants, it says, and his brother's name was Jubal. He was the father of such as handled the harp and organ. And Zillah, she also bare Tubal Cain. Now, when we deal with the word Tubal Cain, it's a compound word name. So Tubal Cain, we already know that the word Cain or Quayan means weapon, or stabbing weapon. And then the word Yabal, that will be brought to Cain. Nah, not really. Tubal Cain. Well, here we have the word Yabal, which is a root word to the word Thawabal. right? Then you also have Yahweh. So your ball goes back to the word to bring, lead, carry, conduct, bear along, to travel, pretty much to travel. So the name Tubal Cain means traveling weapon. Traveling weapon. All right. And what is a traveling weapon? Well, a traveling weapon is today classified as a mercenary. Mercenary of a person or their behavior, primarily concerned with making money at the expense of ethics, which is true, but the one we want to deal with is a professional soldier hired to serve in a foreign army. And that's pretty much what you have. And you type in mercenary militaries, you have a 5. I'm not sure if they're all from America. They probably are. You know, I mean, I didn't really do the research. These are 5 of the world's most elite mercenary armies. You have Academy, Defiant International, Aegis Defense Services, Triple Canopy, G4S Secure Solutions. And you have to remember that these different guerrilla armies, these different revolutionary groups around the world, these different mercenary groups, even if they are of the other nations, they pretty much are set up by Esau through the CIA, the whether it's the economic hitmen that go out, you know, and things of that nature. They give them weapons because a lot of these countries, some of these countries are poor countries. So how do they have the ability to get these high-powered, expensive weapons? Well, they're being supplied with them. They're being trained by, you know, people from the U.S., you know, whatever military branch they may be from. This is what the devil does. So these are the top 5 elite mercenary armies. There are more, but these are the top 5. All right. So the name Cain means weapon or stabbing weapon. Tubal Cain means thrusting weapon or traveling weapon. Traveling weapon. All right, which goes into the mercenaries. All right. Now, let's get into the meat of it. When you go into the book of Genesis 27, you read from the first verse all the way down to the end, which I wanted to do, but seeing that the Spirit got it going in this direction, we're just going to get straight to the point, and Lord's willing, another lesson we can cover that. Now, a brother had asked me on the comment board if I could break down 2 Maccabees 4, the 4th chapter, because he said the first part of it is pretty straightforward, and then he got confused, you know, towards the middle to the end of it. I pretty much read it and told him what part exactly did he want broken down. He never got back to me. I said because that's pretty much going into history. It's going into the history of the priesthood. You know, it spoke about Ptolemy Euergetes, which I believe that was Ptolemy the Third. It spoke about Menelaus. It spoke about Jason. It spoke about different Israelites that were bidding for the priesthood. You know, so pretty much that's what it was. It was a you know, underhanded bargaining or payoff for the priesthood to Antiochus Epiphanes. So that's pretty much what the chapter after the Hellenization part goes into. That's pretty much what it goes into. You know, so if the brother happened to be watching, that's pretty much. So you can go back and you can reread it with that in mind, and then just pick out those names and do the research on those names to get, you know, more information. All right. So now Genesis 32, and I'll start at 30. Now, when you read the story, pretty much Jacob was up in age. Isaac was up in age, and he pretty much told his oldest son Esau, which was a mighty hunter, to go out and get venison and hook him up some savory meat so that he could eat and give him a blessing. Rebekah overheard it. She told Jacob to go get her 2 kids. She was going to hook it up, make him savory meat, so that you can go in there and get the blessing instead. And Jacob pretty much was telling his mother, "Nah, if I go in there, my father gonna know it's me, my because then he gonna put a curse on me." He said because my brother's hairy and I'm a smooth man, and Rebecca, nevertheless, she told him, look, just pretty much do what I tell you to do. Let your curse be upon me, she said, right? And she got it. She hooked it up. She put the skin of the sheep, which I wanted to go. I'm not the sheep of the goat, which I wanted to go into that, Lord's will, in another lesson. And pretty much, when he went to his father, he knew it was Jacob's voice. But when he told him to come near to him and kiss him, he felt his arms, and he smelled the raiment on him, which was his clothing, and it smelled like the field. And he said, yeah, this is my son. Even though he sounds like Jacob, this is my son Esau. That's what he said. And he ate the venison, actually the goat, and because they're both gamey, so you can't really tell the difference once they cook real good. And Rebecca must have been a hell of a cook. So Esau, now we're coming to the point that Jacob already got the blessing. Now it's time. Now Esau came to bring his father that savory meat, right? So verse 30 it says, and it came to pass as soon as Isaac had made an end of blessing Jacob, and Jacob was yet scarce gone out from the presence of Isaac his father, that Esau his brother came in from his hunting. Now, most people have a problem with this because they say, oh, he lied. He was a deceiver. Jacob was wicked. No, he wasn't. He was doing what the Most High Yahweh said he was going to do. He was going to get the blessing. The older son was going to serve the younger son. So who in the hell are you to reply against the Most High? And this is where these demons out here, get caught up on, because they're trying to say, well, that was wicked what he did. No, it was not. It was a part of the Most High's plan. The Most High made that whole situation happen. He made Rebecca to hear, because if Rebecca didn't hear that, Esau would have got the blessing. But the Spirit made it to where why did the Lord make it where she heard it, and then she told him, no, you go and do this and that and the other, Jacob, and so you can get the blessing. Why did that happen? Because the Most High wanted it to go down that way. All right, so fall back and stay in your lane. And he also had made savory meat and brought it unto his father, and said unto his father, let my father rise and eat of his son's venison, that Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2. Let me know if you can hear me. Let me know if you can hear me. Testing 1 2. It's good now. All right, cool. Satan is a mother. He's a mother. I was like, wow. All I kept saying was wow, wow. All right, so. And he also had made savory meat and brought it unto his father and said unto his father, let my father arise and eat of his son's venison, that thy soul may bless me. And Isaac his father said unto him, who art thou? And he said, I am thy son, thy firstborn Esau. And Isaac trembled very exceedingly and said, Who? Where is he that hath taken venison and brought it me? See, he didn't know the difference because Rebekah hooked that goat up, man. And I have eaten of all before thou camest, and have blessed him. Yea, and he shall be blessed. Yeah, and when you think about it, Esau really don't eat no goat like that. I'm pretty sure you have some that do, but Benjamin and the so-called Latino tribes, so-called Indian tribes, they be hooking up that goat. Anyways. And when Esau heard the words of his father, he cried with a great exceeding bitter cry, and said unto his father, bless me, even me also, O my father. Now, we look up this word blessing, right? Or bless. Barak. Right? To bless, kneel, to kneel. You know what? Let me look up the word blessing. And he said, thy brother came with subtlety and have taken away thy blessing. Here we go. Let's look up the word blessing. Barakah, which it comes from the word barak, to bless. All right. Blessing, source of blessing, prosperity. See, prosperity. That's why I wanted this one. Blessing, praise of the Most High, a gift, present, treaty of priest. So this was a gift. So what was a gift that he gave him? Well, we're going to go back to it. Matter of fact, another precept came to mind that Spirit gave me earlier. So I want to go to it. Let me go back where we at. It says, and he said, thy brother came with subtlety and hath taken away thy blessing. And he said, is not he rightly named Jacob or Yaquab? For he hath supplanted me these 2 times. He took away my birthright, and behold, now he hath taken away my blessing. And he said, hast thou not reserved a blessing for me? And Isaac answered and said unto Esau, behold, I have made him thy Lord. See? And that's the deal. He made him your Lord. Why? Why did he make him your Lord? Why couldn't Esau be the one that got the blessing instead of Jacob? Because it goes back to the contract. The Most High told, Abraham, that in thee and in thy seed shall all nations be blessed, meaning the Israelite, the seed of the promise, which are the Israelites, will be blessed among all nations. And blessed shall be he that blessed thee, and cursed shall be he that curseth thee. So behold, I have made him thy Lord. So all other nations outside of the nation of Israel were made to be our servants. And all his brethren have I given to him for servants. See? And with corn and wine have I sustained him. And what shall I do now unto thee, my son? And Esau said unto his father, hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. So you know that Isaac was, at this point, was grieved, because he saw his oldest son, the one that he loved the most. And that's heavy because Isaac is Yahushai. He loved, out of the 2, he loved Esau the most. But now he's coming to take Esau's ass down. Ain't that something? And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth. Now why is his dwelling going to be the fatness of the earth? Well, let's go here. Let's go to Job 9 and 24. It says, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? So who did this? If it says the earth is given into the hand of the wicked, who's in control of the whole entire planet Earth today? The wicked, so-called white people. So by process of elimination, biblically, prophetically, the people that fit who the Edomites are, or the descendants of Esau, are the so-called white people. Now, that's not to say that all so-called white people or white-looking people are Edomites. It depends on where your line goes back to. You have white-looking people that are Israelites. You have white-looking people that are Ishmaelites. You have white-looking people that are Elamites. You have white-looking people that are Hamites. It all depends on where your line goes back to. So we look up this word, given, Nathan, into the hand. Let me see something. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. Okay, so word given is Nathan, which means to give. To give, put, set, to give, bestow, grant, permit, ascribe, employ, devote, consecrate. So this was given to them as a possession. This is why the Most High has a controversy with Esau, because they were given the world, they were given the land, the earth, and what had they done to it? Isaiah 24 and 4. The earth mourneth and fadeth away, the world languisheth and fadeth away. The haughty people of the earth do languish. Who are the haughty people? These devils, the Edomites. You have haughty among other nations, but the Edomites are the top haughty, the top undisciplined, the top devils and demons and wicked on the planet. The word haughty, marawam, which goes back to rawam, which means exalted. Yep. Height, elevation, elevated place. Proudly. So they're proud. And this pride has gone to their head, to where they don't venerate and honor the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushai and his earth, or the people. The earth also is what? Defiled under the inhabitants thereof. It's talking about the ones in rulership, because the ones in rulership are the ones that are governing. So they're supposed to be the ones that keep things in order. But they're not keeping things in order. They're destroying things. They're making it worse. It says because they have transgressed the laws, right? They claim to believe in the Bible. They claim that America was established by the principles of the Bible. But when you look at what they do the total opposite. Change the ordinance, right? Because the Bible says one thing and they say something else. You go to court, it says, on their money system and in their courts, in God we trust. 1983 by Ronald Reagan was set up to be the year of the Bible. By federal statute, I believe it was 9-6. So I forget. It's a combination of numbers. It was a federal statute, but in 1983, it was set up to be the year of the Bible. So America was said to be set up on so-called Christian principles, which that is a whole nother story and a whole nother lesson in itself. But when people think about Christianity, they think about Christian, they think about the Bible. They think about the Heavenly Father, His Son, the Bible, but they look at it through the demonic Edomite goggles, in this Renaissance Christianity, and that's why they can't see the truth, because they've been smitten by the light of Esau, and they've been blinded by this devil. It says, broken the everlasting covenant. So this is why the Lord is going to destroy him. It says, therefore hath the curse devoured the earth. Now, when you go back to Cain, the Lord said he cursed the ground for his sake. I forget exactly how it's worded. If a brother knows where it's at in Genesis, the 4th chapter, they could post it on the comment board. But the Lord cursed the earth for his sake. It started with Adam, and then he also did it with Cain. And now remember, he shed his brother's blood. That's why it speaks about Yahweh's blood speaketh better things than that of Adam. Because when you shed somebody's blood, there has to be a recompense, you know? But there's has been no recompense. So the earth pretty much is polluted, just not even with all the other stuff that Esau does, just based off of the blood of the shedding of the blood that's done on the earth. The earth is polluted. That's why it says in Numbers 35 that the earth cannot be cleansed, or the land cannot be cleansed but by the blood of him that shed it. That's why they're being prepared for slaughter for the iniquity of their fathers. Yeah, the brother just put it up here, the water. Genesis 4:11, and now art thou cursed from the earth, which hath opened her mouth to receive thy brother's blood from thy hand. Right, and that from that point the earth was also cursed. When thou tillest the ground, it shall not henceforth yield unto thee her strength. Right, a fugitive and a vagabond shalt thou be in the earth. So now that Esau is in the power, or the Edomites, which are the or not the descendants, but the reincarnation of the Cainites, not Canaanites, Cainites. The antediluvian Edomites. Antediluvian means before the flood. The before the flood Edomites. The Cainites, not Canaanites, Cainites. All right? It says, and they that dwell therein are desolate. Therefore the inhabitants of the earth are burned, and few men left. And that's why the Lord's going to bring that fire to wash it all away. To one day a real flood is going to come and wash all this filth away. Inside joke. So going back, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. So who is in control of the planet earth? Who sets policies? Who sets the structure and the laws, and the governance of the earth? These are these Edomites, so-called white people, wherever you go. Oh, you have South America, you got these different presidents. Man, shut the hell up. Those presidents are puppets for the international bankers. And if they get stupid or they try to get fresh, what happens? They get spanked. They get threatened, or they get a physical, economic hitman go down there, offer them money to abort their mission, because some of those leaders that get into power, they really want to help the indigenous people, the people of their land. But Esau don't want that. Esau wants to take, like the brother put the scripture up. He could never have enough. So these different nations that are ruling around the earth that are not Edomites, they are under the governance of the Edomites. They are under the power of the Edomites. All right. Now, let's go back. So it says, thy dwelling shall be this is Genesis 27:39. Thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth and of the dew of heaven from above. And they have all of the best lands. We've done this before. We've done this before, people. Matter of fact, let me go to images. You see the mercenary groups. Let's put in Rothschild. Look at that, Rothschild Castle. Jake ain't living like this. Even Jakes that sold out, that are living, decent. They ain't living like this. This is living. You have existing, which is what we're doing in these shitholes, but Barak Tehau Bashem Al Shai, at least we got a place, to lay our heads, but this is living. Do you see this? Oh, I hate when they do that. A little ass goddamn picture. Look at that. This is living. This is living. Hold up. Oh, man. I'm gonna show you something. This is living. This is not. Look at this shit. Look at these roads. Pabst Blue Ribbon. God damn, this goes way back. Back in the time. Look at that. Pabst Blue Ribbon. This is not living, people. This is living. All right? This is how these devils are living. This is how we living. This how they living. This how we living. So who does this scripture fit? Thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth and of the dew of heaven from above. Tell me, is this the fatness of the earth? Huh? Does this look like the fatness of the earth to you? Matter of fact, let's look up that word, fatness. Because I don't know about you, but this don't look like the fatness of the earth to me. You know? Fatness. Is it one word or it should be two words? Fatness. Right. Mashaman, which means what? Of oil. Of oil. Ma is of or from, and then shaman is oil. And that's why they own everything. It said that looks like Slim Pickens left out. All right, so now it says fatness, fat piece, fertile place. That's why when you read in Revelation 18, where it speaks about their dainties, it's talking about lipos or grease, fatness. They own everything. You know when Jake says, I'm living fat? Yep, that's beautiful right there. I'm about to go to that scripture right there, my brother. GMS Spiritual Arc 144. We about to go there. It says richly prepared food, fat, fatness, fat pieces, oil, olive oil. Fatness, stout, vigorous. As the brother put, we're going to read. They're not in trouble as other men. Fertile spots or places. Now, based on that definition, right? Fertile spots or places. Does this look like a fertile spot? Does this look like a fertile spot? Or does this look like a fertile spot? I don't know about you, but this looks like a fertile spot to me. This doesn't look like a fertile spot. I don't think anybody would covet to want to live here. I don't see kids saying, you know what? When I grow up, that's exactly where I want to live. I'm going to save up my pennies so I can live in the fatness of the earth right here. No. They'll aspire to live in a place like this, which you ain't going to. All right? So this is not the fatness. This is the fatness. All right? So going back, let's read that again. It says, And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, Behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth and of the dew of heaven from above. Now, the brother put the precept up, but you're going to go to it. Psalm 73 and 3. For I was envious at the foolish when I saw the what? Prosperity of the wicked. That's why I said that the wicked were, the rich man was what? Fared sumptuously. You know, he fared sumptuously. Every day he lived good. There's not a day that goes by that these devils have a bad day. They living it up. They working the system. Let's look up the word prosperity. Prosperity, shalom, which means peace. Shalom, peace. Completeness, soundness, welfare, peace. Now, would you be in completeness or soundness and safety here? No. This goes back to the curses. Let's go to This goes back to the curses. Let's go to Deuteronomy 28. Deuteronomy 28 and 16. Cursed shalt thou be in the city. Huh? Does that fit this? Or does that fit this? Because if this is a curse, then hey, we might as well just all go there. Because, you know. No, this scripture fits this. Cursed shalt thou be in the city, and cursed shalt thou be in the field. The field represents the world. Any city where Israelites are at, they cursed. Any place on the earth where Jake is at, they're cursed. Living in these conditions. And the only way they will live better is if they sell out, sell their soul. Now let's jump down to the 64th verse, I believe it is, or 65th verse. It says, and among these nations shalt thou find no ease. So these devils are saying that they are the Israelites. I don't see how they would not be at ease living like this. But I can see how we would not be at ease living like this. And then to top it off, you have the dogs licking their sores, putting up, restaurants or grease shacks that are killing our people, the Chinese food and all that other garbage they put out there, then you have the bodegas back in the days were owned, you had Ephraimites that had opened up their stores, and different other tribes that opened up their stores, and now Ishmael and Elam are taking over those stores. You see? So the heathen are licking the swords, the dogs. So it says, neither shall the sole of thy foot have rest. Yeah, you can't have rest in a place like this. You constantly looking over your back, doing takes, looking around. Somebody coming, you looking at them, see what their intentions are. You try to get like eye contact to see if they have any, ill intentions. You know what I'm saying? So it says, neither shall the sole of thy foot have rest, but the Lord shall give thee there a trembling heart and failing of eyes and sorrow of mind. And when you go back to the 60s and 70s, Jake was catching hell. They show you that in that movie Dead Presidents and other movies. Jake was doing bad, man. Couldn't get jobs, was alcoholics because they had to turn to something. Was on drugs. So these devils got a lot to pay for, man. But this is a direct cause from the curses. So going back here, these devils are living it up. They living sumptuously. Now let's go to, matter of fact, let's read this again. And then we'll go to, and Isaac, Genesis 27:39. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth and of the dew of heaven from above. Psalm 73. And oh snap, I think I already had it here. Prosperity, right? Show you right. All right, so for there are no bands in their death, but their strength is firm. Yeah, their strength is firm. They are not in trouble as other men. Right. Does this look like trouble? No, but this looks like trouble. All kinds of trouble there. Right there. All kinds of trouble. It says, neither are they plagued like other men. Matter of fact, let's look up the word trouble. Aimal. Right. Toil, trouble, labor, trouble. In other words, they don't have to work. They don't know what a hard day's work is. They haven't worked a hard day in their life going all the way back to the Renaissance period. They haven't had to work a hard day's work since. So they're not in trouble as other men. They don't have to get up and punch the clock or get up to go to work and punch a clock. They don't have to look at the time, the alarm clock, unless they want to get up at a certain time for a particular reason. They get up when they want to get up. This is their kingdom. When they arise, they're singing aloud upon their beds because this is their kingdom. That's why when we get the kingdom, we're going to be singing aloud upon our beds. Because when you're in charge, you set the rules and the standards and the regulations. You don't have to go to work, but they will go to work because the very first crop of slaves that's going to be, on earth are going to be these Edomites and these other nations, beginning with their ruling class, the ruling top elite, the so-called nobles of the earth among all the nations, because all nations have higher ups, those considered to be the nobles. All right. And I'm not talking about Reggie, inside joke. Therefore, pride compasseth them about as a chain. Yeah, because if you living like this, it's going to be, if you living like this, it's going to be hard to be humble. That's why it says in the kingdom of heaven, we're going to boast in the riches of the nations. You want to see arrogancy played out to the highest degree? Wait till the Lord Yahweh Shemel Shai give us the kingdom and we're established. You're going to see us bragging and boasting against these nations. You know, we're going to be super arrogant against them. You best believe that. That's what the scriptures say. Violence covered them as a garment. Yeah, because they, just like you wear a garment and people see the garment, they can see the pants and the, or you have a actual garment on, with the fringes and all, and they see it. They see every detail, the stitching and everything on it. Well, that's how violence covers the earth with them as a garment. Their mark is everywhere on the planet Earth. That's why in Habakkuk 2 it says pretty much they're going to bring up a proverb against them. And there's a saying among these nations is, Yankee, go home, get out of my land. Because they see the treachery and the debauchery and the sheer, not caring for the people of those lands. It says their eyes stand out with what? This was addressed to who? The wicked? The eyes stand out with what? Fatness. Could fatness be Mashaman again? Well, no, this one is Khalab. Fat of humans, fat of beasts, choicest, best part, abundance of products of the land. Yeah. Choicest, best part, abundant. Okay. They got us, right? This is the choicest and best parts of the land, right? Let's read that again. Choicest, best part, abundance of products of the land. So these are the best. These are the best parts of the land, right? These are the best parts of the land, right? People are standing in line, killing each other, trying to live in places like this, right? Or would people rather live here? Or live this in this fashion? Come on, man. Choicest, best part, abundance of products of the land. Come on, man. Come on, dog. It says they have more than heart could wish. Yeah, we have more garbage, more stripped car wrecks and dog shit on the streets. Inside joke. But look, this is more than anyone could even ask for. This is more than hearts could, and this is just one place. This is just one place. And they have the whole earth. This is just one little small area, which is a big area, but it's one little small area in comparison to the rest of the world and how they live in. People ain't racking their brains and fighting to live in places like this. They are not. I shit you not. They are corrupt and speak wickedly concerning oppression. They speak loftily. They set their mouth against the heavens, and their tongue walketh through the earth. Therefore his people return hither. Yeah, because they go all over the place, all over the earth, robbing, stealing, deceiving, and waters of a full cup are wrung out to them. Yeah, because they get all of the benefits. This is why ultimately they want to put the MOTB, which is the C-hip, in people, because they want it all. They don't want a portion. They even want the crumbs. Here it is, Lazarus ate of the crumbs that fell from the master's table, and now the master wants his crumbs back. How greedy are these devils? Habakkuk 2. Yep, James 5th chapter, that's right. How greedy are they? So now let's go back to Genesis. And by thy sword shalt thou live. So this is how you're going to get it. You're going to get it by your sword. By thy sword shalt thou live. The word live is chaya, like you see them small hats wearing a necklace, says l'chaim on it, to life. Chaya is life. To live, have life, remain alive, sustain life, live prosperously. So it says, and by thy sword shalt thou live. And that's how they're living. By their sword. Now, let's go from there to the book of Revelation 6 and 2 and 3. It says, and when he had opened the second seal, I heard the second beast say, come and see. And there went out another horse that was red. This represents Esau. The term horse represents power. Red are the Edomites. This is the color of these devils. Let's see. Let's look up the word red. Puros. Puros. Pur. Having the color of fire, red. And that's why it speaks about the scarlet colored beast or the great red dragon, because that represents them, the color red. Those are the real red people. They're trying to put that red stigma, red people or redskins on so-called North American Indians, because they're trying to get away from that stigma of being the red people. That's why when you do research on Esau, Edom, they'll say, nope, they're the progenitors of the Ishmaelites, they're the progenitors of these people, so on and so forth. And there was another word that I had looked up. I'm not sure if it was seer or another word. And pretty much, it said that Esau pretty much, they were descendants of another nation. I forgot who it was. It says, and there went another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth. Right. They have taken peace from the earth. The earth is given into their hand, and they've taken peace from the earth. How? By their sword. That's why there's so much turmoil and calamity going on in these nations. That's why the world is on fire as far as people being in protest. The world is in an uproar. Because the wicked that are in rulership have done wrong. They doing wrong. They done wrong. And the people are paying for it. The rich are getting richer and the poor are getting screwed. And that's what they're doing. On a world scale, that's why the whole world is on fire with these protests. Protests going all over the place, and that's how we're at the end, because there's uproars of the peoples. This is a worldwide event that's going to take place. It's not just a thing of one city, one state, one town, one village, one country, one continent. No, it's going to be a worldwide thing. That's why they're pushing that MOTB, the CBDC, the CHIP, everything around the world is leaning in that direction. Because they want it all. But when they're about to sit down and eat, that's when the Lord is going to cast the fury of his wrath upon them. It says, and that they should kill one another, and there was given him what? A great sword. Red sword. Going back to Esau. Esau's name was changed to Edom. Edom means red. His blessing was what? And by thy sword shalt thou live. This is how you're going to prosper. This is how you're going to gain the world into your hand. All right? Now, let's go to Hebrews 11 and 20. By faith, Isaac, blessed Jacob and Esau concerning things to come. Boom. And we're in the play, and we're in that right now. Hebrews 12:16. Lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau, who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright. For you know how that afterward, when he would have inherited the blessing, he was rejected. But he was rejected, but received what? The blessing of the sword. And that's how you're going to live. Prior to that, you would have got everything. But now, you have to take everything. For he found no place of repentance, though he sought it carefully with tears. Let's look up this word blessing. The word there is eulogia, which is good word, good speech. Benediction. Benediction is good word. Praise, laudation, panegyric, I don't know what that means, of Yahweh the Most High. Might mean all something. I don't know if it's a compound word, because pan means all. Panegyric, a public speech or published text in praise of someone or something, right? And you look at it, and that's exactly what they have. Because when you look at the world, this is why they say, well, so-called black people, Latinos, they never really contributed anything to civilization. It's all been the white man. The white man's been the one that's been, dominating things and setting up civilizations and, erecting things and creating things, while these people of color are destroying everything. That's the consensus. So that stigma is on them as being the people that have created everything, but they're really the ones that are destroying everything. They don't tell you how they've taken everything. They don't tell you how they've put themselves in those positions, to, benefit off of the backs of other people, especially the Israelites. It says, fine discourse, polished language. Right. So this word here, panegyric, that's
panegyric.
Yeah, that's a whopper right there. A published speech or published text in praise of someone or something, right? And that's how they got it. That's why it says he covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? Who did that? You white people did that. You Edomites. All right? So that's pretty much it. So when it came time to receive the true blessing, you were rejected. But the blessing that you did receive was what? Was the sword. And you lived by the sword. And with that sword, what did you do? You took peace from the earth. And with that sword is what the Lord is going to use to judge you. So the same way that you use the sword to take down the world is going to be used against you. Matter of fact, let's go to Habakkuk chapter 2. Habakkuk chapter 2. And 8. There's a lot, I don't want to go up to the top. Just start over here. Habakkuk 2 and 8. This whole chapter is dynamite. Because thou hast spoiled many nations, all the remnant of the people shall spoil thee. So Esau's going to get his ass kicked and handed to him by all nations, man. He's going to get washed by all nations, especially by us. It says, because of men's blood, and for the violence of the land, of the city, and of all that dwell therein. And you can't put this label on anybody else, man. Nobody else is doing this. These Edomites are doing this on a world scale. Not just, on a minute scale. It's a world scale. They're the ones controlling everything worldwide. It says, woe to him that coveteth an evil covetousness to his house. Yeah, and what did they do? They took everything from everybody. That was they saw something, they liked it, they wanted it. That's a true definition of coveting. Then they went with their gift that was given to them, their blessing, the sword, and took it, whether directly or indirectly, that he may set his nest on high. And that's what they did. Ain't nobody living higher than these devils. All right. Is this living high? Hell to the yeah. Is this living high? Hell to the no. We living like this, they living like that. So that's where we at. That's setting your nest on high. If this is setting your nest on high, then you have very low expectations. This is setting your nest on high. And how did they do it? By robbing the whole world. That's why it says that thou shalt rob them that rob thee. So it says that he may be delivered from the power of evil, right? Because when you're living in this condition, like this, you good. You in a position to where no evil gonna touch you. For now. Because the Lord's gonna take you down. You know? It says that he may be delivered from the power of evil. Thou hast consulted shame to thy house by cutting off many people, and hast sinned against thy soul. Pretty much you're going down, devil. So this has been another installment of Who Are the E's, the cursed people. This has been the blessing. So with that, I pray that you brothers and few sisters have been edified. To the next time I say shalom and Tawada for all the comments, or Tawada for all the scriptures you brothers put up. You know, brothers were on fire, putting up all kind of precepts. Salaki, I couldn't get to all of them. I tried to get a couple of them, but you know how it is. Shalom.